Kyle, I will do tasteful prison suit, and then that way, like, we can do the same thing. Like, you know, like it'll all be good.
There would be no funnier bit than like me and Woody sitting here and being like, "All right, now it's time for the 3-minute Kyle catch up." And like,
it's over the phone.
Yeah, it's over the phone.
Hey guys, so we have very limited amount of time here, and I'm sorry the quality is so bad, but let me tell you about this blackface idea I have.
I was promised that you'd fill up my commissary fund, and that hasn't happened.
They found out that we have a Patreon and they're milking me out of all of it. Please help. I've thrown my hat in with the Nazis. I've got a tattoo. I wanted it to be discreet. They made it on my forehead.
They love the accent, boys. I'm going to tell you right now.
It's a huge hit.
It's a huge hit in here. They love the accent.
Turns out the neo-Nazi guys, huge PKA fans.
They love the kamikaze kike. I'm like their mascot now. I finally found my audience.
Somehow we bridged the gap between the weirdly like aggressive Japanese inmates and the Nazis, and now we're just all friends.
We have a powerhouse now. Now that I've got the Asians and the Nazis together, we have a conglomerate, and we are moving. It's incredible the unity that I have brought to the prison system with the kamikaze kike, and frankly, I don't want to come back.
That would be funny.
I'm
if,
staying.
Like, you know how Red from the Shawshank Redemption got let out after like 65 years, and he couldn't handle it, and he wanted to go back, so he tried to commit more crimes. It'd be so fucking funny if like you're sentenced for 90 days, and by the end of it, you're like, I can't leave. I can't leave. I don't remember what it's like out there. Like,
yeah, it might be something like that. It'll be fun. I really don't care.
It'd be fun.
It's gonna be such great stories.
You really the second you're out, PKA is gonna just explode with like you're gonna have to segment day 1, day 2. You're gonna need to keep a journal so you can be like
great stories.
So let's just talk about day 1 today, and then next week is day 2, and you have content for 15 years. Like
great stories. Yeah. It's gonna be great stories. I'm really hoping that I get a little bit of rejuvenation time. We'll call it that. You know,
just a little bit, just enough to wet myself. Just wet the whistle. My appetite a bit.
Yeah, you know, fall of this year. I might be
time off at summer camp.
I might be getting a little time off this fall. I'm not too concerned about it. I think it'll be an interesting little chapter in my life, and it'll make for great stories. And I've always said,
my biggest thing is you do it for the story. Like even if it's unpleasant when it's happening, you look back and you're like, I have so many
no. You can do the community service. Nope.
Put me in there. How many days was it? Put me in. Just
yeah.
Plug me into the Matrix. I'm ready to go.
You know, a few months in a minimum security federal detention center or whatever they call it these days. It's gonna
be putting. You're not getting stabbed. They wouldn't put you with the real danger.
No, it's minimum security. It's not even gonna be that bad. It's gonna be fun.
Try and escape. They'll tack on another year, and then you have better stories.
All right, just chill out with that. We're gonna try to escape.
Prison.
I'm gonna find a hobby.
I'm sorry. I mean, I actually escaped. Not...
No, I won't do that. But you know, I think if that happens.
Kyle Myers was only serving a 90-day sentence. 75 days in, he broke out.
This is
now he's in here for 14 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it doesn't concern me that much. I think it'll make for interesting stories, frankly, if I do have to do something like that. And
dude, if you have to do it, me and Woody will keep the show running. We'll bring a third host on and wait for you to get out of prison. It's gonna be great.
Of course, yeah. Tucker will be happy to fill in.
No, stop.
Maybe I'll commit a crime in Georgia.
I swear to God, your fan base is the most rabid shit ever. I love them to death. It's like half my audience now. But I'll be sitting down and somebody's like, "Hey, what do you think about being like a fourth host?" And I'm like, "I've been a guest 17 times now. I think I'm good just being a guest every 3 months, and we're working on it." Somebody's like, "Yeah, Rape Squad killers," and I'm like, I have real sponsors. I can't repeat with you.
Yeah. Don't do that. No.
Like I can't say that.
And to any of our fans who are listening, which is everyone who's listening, I guess.
I guess so.
We are no longer the Rape Squad killers because that doesn't sell. Okay, a wink and a nod to between us all, but we're the real sweet kids. Just go with that. It's funner that way.
We are the real sweet kids.
We're the real sweet kids.
They are the real sweet kids. I'm not part of that group.
Chiz made a good point. Chiz is like, you haven't even told the stories about when you were in jail, and those are some of my favorite stories ever. It's like,
do you have any that you would feel comfortable saying right now?
I think
I don't want to put you on the spot. I was just
I don't know. I kind of want to save them. I don't know, and like do a whole like I got hours of silly.
Do you got just like a tease for us, like a?
Oh man, eggs were a commodity. Eggs, hard-boiled eggs.
I never take that story back. And
hard-boiled eggs were a commodity. Okay, like food would come, and it was. I was only in for like 3 or 4 days or something like that. But it's rough, and everybody was like, "I've been in prison. This is rougher than prison. This is awful." He's like, in prison, we get to go outside for like 2 hours a day. We get this, we get that, we get that. He's like, you see that cooler of water over there? We had to strike for that. There was a hunger strike to get that water. And I'm just like, shit. All right, well, I'm glad y'all did that for me.
Like, shout out to you guys one time.
Solidarity, brothers. And then like it's like mixed. It's white guys, black guys. We're all wearing our orange jumpsuits, which are a little itchy, by the way. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm sure they don't have fabric softener thrown in.
I doubt it. A lot of starch. Yeah.
The beds fucking suck, and they're like, I've been in prison. The beds are so much better. The beds are so much better. I'm like, yeah, this bed does kind of. It's like this thin, like roll up, like pad you throw onto like a metal bed, and the pillow is so thin that you've got to like fold it twice to get a pillow, like enough pillow to put your head on. And
is it cold?
Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold in there. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. But then it'll get hot, and there's no way to get cool again. So I've got like my orange jumpsuit buttoned down to like my belly button with like my chest hair hanging out, and I'm sitting over there like.
And now you're worried about being too attractive for yourself.
No, that's not an issue. That's not even
tying it up like a Britney Spears look.
Yeah. Oops. No, I didn't shit the whole fucking time. Like I've been there for 4 days, haven't taken a shit. Because the food is so awful. Someone said that they had like a 37-cent a day like budget for each prisoner's food, and I was like, I believe it. What was
the food like? Like, what kind of shit did you get served?
I feel like prison. It was gruel, gruel all day. It was breakfast would come slop. Breakfast was oatmeal with nothing in it, just kind of spattered onto a tray. A hard-boiled egg. There's hard-boiled eggs at every meal. Hard-boiled egg. There was like 2 sausage links that were like your pinky finger, and they were all like dried up and gross as fuck. And
I'd rather
they were the best
overcooked thing. Yeah,
they were the best part of breakfast. That's what I ate. Some days there were grits, some days there were oatmeal. I preferred the grits because you can salt.
Shout
and pepper
out grits,
those.
yeah.
You can salt and pepper those, but there was no sugar or butter or anything like that for the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Every meal had the same beverage. It was Kool-Aid. Okay, you had Kool-Aid in a very small cup, and it was like, this is my cup of Kool-Aid for the next 6 hours. Once it's gone, it's gone.
They don't have free refills in jail?
No. So it's like, there's a little. I think it's berry. Is that berry? I hear grape. I hear tomatoes grape. Sipping on our fucking Kool-Aid. Prisoners are all cool as shit, right? Like everybody's cool as shit. There's one child molester in the group though, and we all know who he is, right? Word gets passed around. That old motherfucker down there, and because there's like levels, and I'm up in the high level. Like I wanted to get up high because it was cooler up there. Not like temperature wise, it was cool. It was like being in the back of the bus in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, just the highest stuff possible, yeah.
In prison for 3 days and you're working out clicks.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be fine. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be fine.
Oh, yeah.
People were giving me candy bars and shit. Like, hey Kyle, you want a Snickers bar? You want them 3 Musketeers? Snickers. They're hooking me up with candy bars. I'm like, you want me to put some money in your commissary fund when I get out? And he's like, nah, I got plenty.
Dude, don't they say that in jail where they're like, don't take candy because somebody's going to come to you and be like, hey, now you owe me your asshole?
I think they do say that, but this was jail, so not prison. So this guy was like, nah, man, I just got plenty of candy bars. You remember me, right?
Honestly, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just got extra candy
I'm in here
bars.
for a DUI. I just really
no, everybody's in there for the same shit. Like almost like there's a child molester. There's one guy that I was in the initial holding cell with.
You molested kids?
Yeah. He got caught with an 8-year-old girl with her panties down.
No, you.
He was. There was one guy that was not me.
No, you did not me. You just said everybody.
You know what I
was
was
the
in
same
for.
shit, and then you're like, yeah. So there's a child molester.
No. What I said was they were all in for the same. 99% of them in there are for marijuana or methamphetamine, and so everybody's just kind of got the same like, yeah, I don't know, fuck me, right? Bernie Sanders, 2020. Everybody's kind of got that attitude. But there's the one guy that I was initially brought in with, and he and I are in this cold ass holding cell, just chilling together, waiting to get processed and put in. And he's like 42 years old or something like that. And I'm talking to him like what'd you do? Well, they said I was stealing out of my neighbor's shed. I was like, well, what were you doing? He's like, I was stealing out of his shed. I was like, how'd they catch you? He's like, well, they caught me breaking into his shed. I was
like, open and shut case here.
I was like, what'd you tell him? He's like, I ain't told him nothing yet. I don't know what to say. I'm like, tell him you needed to borrow a shovel or something like. He's like, yeah, I'll tell him I needed to borrow a shovel. Mikey will believe that. He'll tell him he'll call off the hounds. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do well in here. I'm gonna get half these guys off. These guys are retarded.
You just have like common sense takes, and everybody's like, "You talked to Kyle yet? He's sage as a motherfucker."
It's gonna be like, "Give me your Kool-Aid, your little 3 ounces of Kool-Aid, and I'll get you out of jail."
I got a big pile of eggs in front of me, just a hat full of eggs, just a hat full, like 3 dozen hard-boiled eggs in a lineup.
And you're sitting on like a couple of Twinks on all fours with your leg up, and you're just eating hard-boiled eggs.
Tell me again.
If you want my advice, it'll be 6 ounces of what is today's special? Berry. Oh, jeez, I don't know. So we're
that's my entire berry allocation.
So one day we got.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
One day we got rec time. Right, we get to go outside and play basketball in a cage, and so we're out there playing basketball in a fucking cage, and I don't want to play basketball. Whatever. I'm sitting on the sidelines just chilling with like 3 other guys, and we're watching some of the other guys play basketball because there's like a Nurse Ratched in there who's like, no aggressive play. He's like, we can't even do layups. What? She wouldn't allow layups. It's.
She was like, no body. Don't get aggressive. Don't.
She's like, you can play horse or you do free throws, and that's it. And it's like, I was like, well, I don't even want to fucking play. Good God, what the fuck? So there's like 3 black guys over there playing horse. They can't fucking lay up. It's lame. Excuse me.
Okay, Rick.
Yeah, I haven't had anything to eat.
You wouldn't believe how terrible prison was, Morty. We couldn't even have any layups. It was all horse.
And so, like, me and these other 3 guys are sitting there chilling, and one of the guys that hooked me up with the candy bar that I kind of knew from the outside, and another guy, and another guy that I went to elementary school with and actually played like little league baseball with, and he's a black guy. He's been reading his Bible the whole time, all solemn and shit. Was fucking flipping through that thing over there, reading up. Also weed, and the guy that gave me the candy bar, he's a white dude. And he's about my size, I guess. And I knew him. Like he's like the boyfriend. It's like I got a friend, and that friend has a sister, and that sister dated this guy. Okay. I saw him around, enough to know his name. And like, I'd hung out with him, not like go to his place and hang out, but like I've been with my friend, he'd been around, and we chilled out and like talked outside and stuff like that. Like, I knew him. And so me and these 2 guys are sitting there, plus a third guy who's one of the black guys that I had met in there, who's a nice guy too. And somebody's like, "See that motherfucker?" I'm like, "Yeah, that old creepy dude. Yeah, you know what he's in for, huh?" I don't know shit, man. We've been here 2 days. I'm hoping they get us some peanut butter tomorrow, though. I'm hungry. He's a child molester. He was pretending to be a plumber, and the guy caught him with his daughter in the bathroom with her panties down, 8 years old. And I was like, fuck. It's like, yeah, we're going to get that motherfucker. I was like, yeah, I don't like that shit. Like, I'm already like folded
you're wearing like if I get a couple punches in, that's like what, 2 weeks? Like, is it worth it? I get a punch or child molester? Like, yeah.
No, I'm not looking to do anything, but I'm going along. I'm like, yeah, I hate that shit. That's bullshit. Everybody else is in here for some regular old shit, you know. Bill over there stole a shovel, or at least you tried to. He's a failed shovel thief, and you had a blunt in your car, and you had meth, right, Steve?
Yeah, Steve, you deserve this one.
You look like it was meth. Yeah, it was meth. But this guy over here, this creepy motherfucker, he's in for child molestation. And like, I got released like the next day, but they were plotting to get that guy. But I don't think anything was going to happen. It was more like, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. Don't talk to him. And like, don't share eggs with him or anything like that.
don't share
I don't
eggs
know
with
if
a
you were
pedophile. Do people bully the pedophile? Like, that's my egg now.
Nah, there's nothing like that. Nah, nobody was aggressive or mean or anything. Everybody was just kind of like dealing with their own experience, right? Everybody had kind of seemed to have the same attitude. And it wasn't necessarily because everybody was only in there for a day or 2 days. Some of those guys had been in that jail for months because they couldn't get bail. Not because they couldn't necessarily afford it, because a bail bondsman is like 10% of whatever your bail is. And unless you've done some crazy shit, bail is like 10, 20 grand. So you just need like a few $100s to get out most of the time. This guy, he was like, look, I'm no expert in the criminal justice field, clearly. But this guy, he was like, you know, if you ever make it up to Boston, Massachusetts, you're free and clear. They got no extradition in Massachusetts. That's where I was trying to go last time they got me. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I was trying to. That's why they won't give me no bail. I tried to escape. I run for it. They gave me bail, and I was gone. Boom! I was out. I was halfway up to Boston, and they caught me, and now they won't give me no bail. I'm like, well, how long until your court day? Oh shit, August or something. It was like 6 months from then. I'm like, how long have you been in here? He's like, about a month and a half or so. It ain't so bad though. You know, they feed us pretty good. Can I have one of your eggs? And I was like, yeah, man. I don't like hard-boiled eggs. He's like, oh, you will. You will. Cracking it open like Gollum. So thankful for this egg. Like Gollum.
Dude, the fact that they're like just enjoying hard-boiled egg. Arguably the least tasty way to make an egg.
Yeah, I make that shit when I'm like not trying to get up in the morning and do anything. I'm just like, well, it's in the fridge. Like, better pop a couple of these in my mouth and I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
nobody's like, thank God for this.
Were eggs the main bartering food?
I think candy bars probably would have been. There wasn't any bartering really going on. It was just that, like, the thing about the egg was it's hard boiled, so it'll keep. Not for days, obviously, because it's a fucking egg. But like, you can have an egg at breakfast, and you can put it in your little container. We all have like these little plastic containers where all of our shit goes into. That's our container, and like, you know, if you need a snack later, grab your egg, and you got your egg. It's not like there's power bars floating around necessarily. So it's like you can't save your oatmeal. Right? You can't save shit like that. But your hard-boiled egg, that's good till lunch. You can have a big lunch if you're not into breakfast, you know?
What was the big shit you could get at the commissary that everybody wanted? Like, what kind of options do they have there?
I was told there was like Kool-Aid powder and all the candy bars you could want. But like I wasn't in there long enough to like be concerned with that. You didn't get
to dip into that.
No, and like my prison number didn't work on my bracelet or whatever, and that's how you like do all that shit. So like I didn't know how to make phone calls for like the first day or two, and I didn't know how to, and so that would have also been used, I think, to like get into the commissary and like buy stuff. But I had no idea how any of that worked, and I didn't feel like asking. I was just like, hopefully I'll be at her, you know, soon. Get this get out of here.
Yeah.
Jesus, what was dinner like? Or like lunch and dinner, same shit. Like
it was this bologna sandwich for lunch that was the most anemic, thin sliced bologna on this gross ass bread.
It was like a half slice of bologna, but horizontally half sliced.
Yeah, it was like you took a normal slice of bologna and split it. It was absurd. It was terrible. And potato chips. That was lunch.
All right, well, that's not so bad.
That's it.
Do they even give you condiments?
I don't remember condiments.
How do you eat 1,000 calories a day if you're eating 200 for meals?
Oh, I lost about 15 pounds. I lost a considerable amount of weight because I didn't eat. I just slept most of the time. Like I was like, let's just sleep through this nonsense, you know?
Right.
I was like, you know, wake me if they need me, and occasionally they would. I'd have to do a thing, but like for the most part, I just like slept and like wrapped up. I took my pillowcase off the pillow and wrapped it around my head like as a blindfold, and just slept as much as I could to like just nap through this whole thing. And I'm pretty good at day sleep. I can sleep a day away.
You can knock it out. Yeah.
I knocked that right out. And we had television. I forgot that we had a TV with CNN on, and we could pound loudly on the plexiglass and be like, Channel 32. And do it. But he'd be like, all right, changed it once this hour. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're literally operating a remote control and you're in a bunker over there. Like, what else are you doing? Like,
what a fucking douchebag.
Didn't want to change the fucking channel. And what
were the shows they wanted to watch?
There was some reality
Days of Our Lives.
Prison Break.
No.
Yeah.
Like mostly CNN, because the Korean Missile Crisis was going on, and Kim Jong-un was occasionally like launching missiles over Japan and shit like that. So that was like the news of the day, and we were all pretty into that, and discussing it.
What else are you gonna do?
And then at night, like at prime time, they play like the local news, and because some of these guys would be on it, and then they would play like Dancing with the Stars or something like that, like some reality show nonsense. And but it was mostly CNN, the way I remember it.
Doesn't sound so bad.
Jail doesn't sound nearly as bad. Maybe I'll stop in sometime.
That's what I was like. Maybe I'll just try and see what's up. Maybe I'll make some stories of my own.
Yeah, maybe I'll loiter a little too long somewhere and find myself.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not built for jail.
Oh, you're built for it, my friend.
I'm built for it, but not in the way that I want to be built for jail. You know what I mean?
Well, you're a runner. Perfect.
They're like, hey, twinks are in this season, huh? I'm like, yeah.
We had the way I remember, we had 2, maybe 3 showers, and they were like in the cell block. Like there wasn't somewhere you went to shower; it was like there. And then there's like 2 or 3 toilets by that with like a little cubicle wall between them. But I was like, I'm not that dirty, and I do not have to shit. I'm just gonna chill.
You didn't shower or shit for 4 days?
3.5 days. Yeah, about 3.5 days.
What the fuck?
And I had not showered the day that I went in. It was yeah.
That's gross. You should be put back in there for that.
But I'm in air conditioning the whole time. I'm not sweating. I didn't stink on it. I got home and I was like, do I need to shower? Nah. No, I showered. I showered immediately.
Yeah. I showered immediately and I had a nice shit. Yeah.
I don't remember if I shat because I just hadn't been eating. I just hadn't been eating anything the whole time I've been in there.
If you're not eating, then it makes kind of...
Yeah, I had just had a little bit of oatmeal. Like I'd literally have like 2 bites of oatmeal and be like, that's enough. Because I'm not burning any calories either. I'm just sitting. All day, just sitting watching TV and sleeping and talking to those guys because they're it sounds weird to say they're nice guys, but they really were. They were all in there for, most of them were in there for nonsense things. Almost all of them were non-violent things. And like one of the guys, like literally the one guy, he's like, I had a blunt in my car. And the other guy was like, I had a little meth in my system. And I was just like, yeah, okay. It's like yellow right here.
You're also taking these guys' word for it.
Well,
I only had a blunt. Well, to be fair, it was weed that was going to be rolled into a blunt. And by blunt, I mean 2,000 to 4,000 blunts because it was 10 pounds.
Well, like the thing about it was like they had no reason to lie to me because like we're like in a cell block in a corner, like locked up, and they would tell me other things. And I was just like, what if they think this is good for credit? Can I tell somebody about this stuff? No. But they would, they would tell me stuff that they were going to do in the future. And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
He's like, when I get out, I'm going to do this and that. I'm like, no, don't.
Bad idea.
I don't think you're shaped up for a life of crime because you're here.
Well, we've all failed out very early in our criminal careers. We won't make it. We're not going to make it in Oz. We're going to get a swastika tattoo on our asshole on the first day.
He's like, when I get out, I'm going to do that. I'm like, no, don't do that, man. That's worse. That's worse than what you're in here for. Don't do that. He's like, is it? I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Just they all had bright ideas about the future and the things they were going to do when they got out.
Did they have like checkers or chess or cards or anything you could do?
Cards. They had poker, but you couldn't gamble. And poker
without gambling is boring.
And there's no cigarettes in there. So it made me think back to Rounders when like Edward Norton's character did not smoke. and yet he would gamble with cigarettes, and like he gets released and he's got all their cigarettes, and he walks out and he's like, "Come on, man, you don't even smoke." And he's like,
Yeah.
And like as soon as he gets outside the gate, he tears the cigarettes in half and throws them away. Like he's such a piece of shit. He's like, winner takes all. Yeah, there's nothing to gamble with in there except for eggs, I guess, and nobody's gambling.
I love it. Gambling with eggs, incredible.
Yeah, we didn't have enough eggs to gamble with, so yeah, there was no real gambling to be done. It was mostly just CNN. Eat your
sounds
oatmeal.
boring. Doesn't even sound like remotely enjoyable.
No, I think
it doesn't sound bad. It just sounds boring. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is. It's extreme boredom. You know, and there was a lot of chatting. You know, I'd talk to these guys about what they were doing and what they'd been doing, and like, you know, especially the guy that I went to elementary school with or whatever, and used to play like little league baseball with, and you know, just talking to people about what, you know, just talking. There's nothing else to do.
Because what else the fuck are you gonna do?
Nothing to do.
Damn.
Pretty boring. But you know, again, I made for a couple of good stories here, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's of note that we did in there. I don't think so. The whole thing was silly. Oh, I'll wait till Taylor gets back to talk about the. Do we have any more ads, Chiz? Am I skipping anything? I don't think so. Yeah. There were yeah, I think I did. There were a few different guards, and they'd be on shifts, right? So we get to meet them all throughout my stay anyway. And I got to learn like which ones are liked and which ones are disliked.
Like, what makes a good guard versus like ones that just like reciprocate friendliness, or like
some of them are just jerks and like kind of abuse their power. They're just rude or whatever, or like, you know, they won't change the fucking. We're talking about. Oh wait, till he gets his headset on. Where I was talking about the guards and like the different hierarchy of the guards. Like there was one guy that they called Barack Obama because he was like a clean cut black guy who kind of sounded like Barack Obama, I guess. And I immediately made him my friend. I was like he had to take me somewhere and like bring me back. And I was like, you know, all the other guys in there, they got a lot of respect for you. He was like, for real? I'm like, yeah.
For real? Do you really mean that?
Do they like me? Yes, Barack. I said they call you Barack Obama. They admire you. They say that you're firm but fair.
Well,
like,
I was born in Kenya.
It's like, wait, what?
He's like, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's nice. But then there was like a white lady who was just the worst person ever. She's just so rude. Just like, you up there in that bunk bed. Get down here. You sleep down here. This guy's sick. He needs to be up there where it's warm. And I was like, fuck you. I've been in this bunk bed for 48 hours now. This is my bunk bed. And I was, all right, go downstairs and sleep in the cold. And like, but then she gets off, and I'm like, I go back upstairs. I'm like, hey, I want my bunk bed back. And the guy was like, all right. I didn't want to be up here anyway. Like, yeah,
I heard you were messing with my friend Kyle's bet.
I'm
here for it. Yeah. Oh man,
I love it.
That's really fucking funny. It seems like was she fat? I picture fat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm
Chunky
right on board.
Lady. Typical. Give them a inch and they'll take a mile.
Yeah, where it's like she had to feel like overcompensating the whole time of like, they all know they can take me, so I got to be twice as cunty to, you know, make it to be authoritative.
Yeah. I had these shackles on at one point, like full crazy shackles, like I was Hannibal Lecter. And the guy's like, hey, they had to like move me somewhere. And the guy's like, all right, chill right here. And he put me in like this little cell. I got to do a little bit of paperwork, and then I'll grab you, and then we'll go to where we're going. And like, but he didn't like lock one key lock on my full like shackly thing. So I was able to like slide everything out and be completely free again. So when he opened the door, I was like holding all the chains and cuffs in my hands. I was like, I'm not Houdini or everything, but I am free. And he was just like, what the fuck? Oh, Chiz asked Kyle, were you wearing anything particular the day you were brought in? Yes, I was. I had on a pair of novelty underwear.
Were they MeUndies?
No, they were not. Because MeUndies does not make a pair of underwear with an elephant face on the front and a trunk to put your cock in.
You were wearing that in
Yeah,
prison? Or in jail?
prison?
Yeah, I'm wearing
shit.
these yellow boxer briefs with an elephant's face on the crotch, and his trunk is my cock. Like it goes down into like a whole like trunk with my cock in it. And so like when I was first like getting into my jumpsuit or whatever, I was like, you're supposed to be naked in there, or maybe in your underwear. I don't remember which, but I was like, hey man, I wore some silly underwear. You think I could just keep my basketball shorts on over here and just nobody will know? He's like, what are you in for? I told him. He's like, you'll be out in a day or two. Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about it. That's more for people who's gonna be up in here. And I was like, cool. So I had like, and so, but then when I was like getting,
so you
out
had your cock in an underwear elephant trunk, unshowered for almost 4 days.
Yes, yes, I did.
That's so vile. It probably smelled horrific.
I burnt that underwear. Like never again. Never again. Nobody would have cared if they'd seen the underwear. I'm telling you, this is a bunch of country dudes who are just like in there for fucking DUI and pot and meth and a little bit of shovel stealing.
Yeah, and then the one rapist.
And that one child
rapist.
But it was like clear right away that everybody was like, hey, we're in here for some like normal, regular, like dude shit that people just, people do sometimes. That guy's a fucking scumbag, though. What's he doing in here with us? There was definitely they did not want him in there. It was interesting, it's fun stories. I remember like long ago when like Woody and I would talk about how like there was a bunch of young commentators, like especially like early in the YouTube thing, and there'd be like really young guys, and I'd be like, those young guys, they don't have anything over on you and I because we've lived lives already. Like we've already done a decade worth of real world adult man shit. And in your case, 2 decades of adult, like real man shit.
Right,
like they don't have our stories and experience if they're 15 years old and like, hey, so I'm doing good at Call of Duty again, guys. I
think
Mom says I gotta wrap this up soon. So all right, just watch the video. Let it wrap up later. All right, but this little nonsense that I've been caught up in, I think it makes for good stories. It's fun. It's seasoned me as an individual.
it'll be different than the county jail though.
Yeah, for
supposed to be better.
Hopefully,